And now, the 15th and final installment of our series, Best in the Biz. A lot of people at NFL Network have contributed to this along the way all week long. It's been Jamie Dukes, and today, the top 5 players, regardless of position. I've been asking you all week for your criteria, but when it comes to this, that's kind of a silly question.
Yeah, but the criteria is, I mean, when you see a guy, he does, oh, yeah, he's good. That's my criteria. We're going to start with my criteria with 2 guys, actually, and Rob Woodson, you can tease me because I was just conflicted with these guys. I think they're the same guy. Number 5, Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals. This guy put on a show of shows last year, and he's also coupled with that guy right there, Andre Johnson from the Houston Texans. Here's a real big, quiet wide receiver. Doesn't say a whole lot because his game is so loud. That's exactly what this guy does. I think he's one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and I think he and Larry Fitzgerald together probably are the best 2 young wide receivers in the league. Number 4 on the list, and it was quite simple for me. This is a guy that I thought should have been the defensive MVP of the year. 20 sacks last year. Do you know how hard it is to get 20 sacks? And the thing was, it wasn't 5 in a game, 4 in a game, or 8 in a game. Every week, this guy went out and got a sack and was on the quarterback. That's DeMarcus Ware of the Dallas Cowboys. And it didn't care if he was on a running back, defensive lineman. He was all over the football field. He was number 4 on my list. Number 3, all day. Like I said, the criteria is real simple. Yeah, that's him. Adrian Peterson set an NFL record in 2007, rushed for 296 yards versus the San Diego Chargers. This guy rushed for 1,700 yards last year, plus was the league leader in rushing, got over 3,100 yards in his first 2 seasons as a running back. And remember, he's splitting time. That shows you how bad he is. Number 2, and this is my guy, Peyton Manning, the great Peyton Manning. 9-time Pro Bowler. This guy, a walking Hall of Famer, no question about it. This guy has been a starter for 16 games for how many? 11 consecutive seasons with starting 16 football games. This guy is the leader of leaders. He's going to miss that guy right there. But Peyton Manning, the number 2 player on my list. And number 1, and probably because he's got the looks, Tom Terrific. Tom Brady, 3 Super Bowl wins in his career. This guy is a great leader. You give him a weapon, and what does he do? He breaks records. Set his own record, helped Randy Moss break a record in receiving touchdowns. This guy is, to me, the consummate pro. He's a leader on the field. It's not all about fanfare. What he does, he drives his team to win. Tom Brady is the best football player in my mind in the National Football League.
Now, Saleh's had his chance at rebuttal the last few days, but now we take it to a new level. We really give you a chance now for point-counterpoint.
I thought we said top 5. Jamie always got to do a little bit more. There were 6 players on the board.
I'm sorry.
Where they asked him for top 5, right?
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, you said they're basically the same guy.
They are the same guy.
They're not the same guy.
Andre Johnson.
One guy's in Houston, the other guy's in Arizona.
If Andre Johnson were in the playoffs, he would have done the same thing that Larry Fitzgerald would have done. I mean, they are 2 phenomenal young wide receivers.
And I see your own top 5 here.
Yeah, I got top 5.
You got top 5.
Let's see it. Well, it's just, we'll show you what we have on the board here because I think some of the players are the same that were on Jamie's list. Obviously, Peyton Manning is my guy. 3 MVPs. He'll have more. Obviously, a Hall of Famer. And you're just splitting hairs when you talk about he and Tom Brady. Brady with the 3 Super Bowls. Adrian Peterson, when you talk about youth and talent combined, obviously the best running back of the National Football League. Ed Reed is a ghost lurking in a secondary. He's the guy that quarterbacks fear the most. And then James Harrison, he's like Hellboy in pants. So there's no doubt he was the MVP on defense on that side of the ball in the National Football League. So we've got 2 different players. I got to get a couple of defensive guys on there. And both of those guys found the end zone often from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I can't really disagree with that when you look at Harrison. I mean, to me, great players show up on the big stage. Harrison was there every week during the regular season, and what does he do? One of the most memorable plays in Super Bowl history, taking it back. So I can't complain there. Ed Reed, just a walking. I mean, it's like he's got a vacuum cleaner in his hands. The ball goes up, it's coming to Ed Reed. But that also goes to preparation. And so certainly I have no qualms with putting Ed Reed on that list as well. But, me being an offensive guy,
if I would have put 6 guys on my board, Drew Brees would have been on there. If I would have did 6.
There are all sorts of guys that are off your top 5 or 6. But they're rising in the charts with a bullet. Now, if you had to pick one guy each that has a good chance to be in your top 5 next year, who would it be?
I think a guy like Jay Cutler. There's no doubt. Jay has already started to put up those kind of eye-popping numbers early in his 3-year career. 4,500 passing yards a year ago. Yes, the interception number is high because he had to take chances. That's how he was coached by Shanahan, because he didn't have a defense. He's got a laser lock of an arm. He can make plays in the pocket, out of the pocket. He can take that team to another level. If he does that in Chicago, okay, and take this team where most quarterbacks haven't been able to do it, he makes the list.
I think so, too. But the guy I like is Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, here you got now he's won his second Super Bowl, and I don't think that he was given nearly the credit that he deserved. I mean, again, he played. Look at that right there. That's an offensive line problem right there. Arguably the worst offensive line ever to win a Super Bowl. That was the sieve that was the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. And what did Ben do? He made play, kept the ball alive, did great things, and I think he's a guy that's really growing as a quarterback. And I like what I'm seeing out of Ben Roethlisberger, and just the fact that he's able to keep plays alive. Now, some people say, hold on to the ball too.
He does. That's okay.
But that's okay. He wins games.
It's been a fun series. 15 installments, best in the biz. It's had a lot of tweets, a lot of blogs, a lot of public response. Maybe we can do it again next year.